And here we are. It's Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where in the world you're joining us. We're happy to have you along for the ride as this ride maybe goes off the rails because we are the Brunch Busters. It's busted out time. I'm Bobby Munson. That man beside me, Chris Parrish. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And I just want to also point out, as you saw the graphic earlier, we want to send our love and condolences to the family and friends of Jay Briscoe, a great professional wrestler that we lost way too quickly. We pray for the family of Jay Briscoe.
We definitely do. Very sad news coming out of the professional wrestling world, and all the best to his entire family. And there is absolutely no silver lining that comes out of this. It is a sad and very somber time, and we hope that everybody respects and gives the time for their family to heal properly, like they need right now.
Yeah. But we do have a great show here for everyone today.
Yes.
This is kind of the week right before the Royal Rumble. You know, we're all getting a little bit anxious and getting a little bit giddy. It's a little fun here. But the Royal Rumble is just not the only thing there's to talk about in the world of professional wrestling, is there?
Oh, no, not
I mean,
at all.
Bobby,
Apparently.
you kind of do a show about one major league wrestling, don't you?
Well,
there's a little bit of news going in there. In fact,
it's throwing a wrench at me.
I know. I got it. I mean, Texas Felix.
You know, here we are. We're just getting comfortable with doing Thursday nights, doing Fusion. Myself and Papa Smokes, we bring you the MLW review every week. And we've been wondering if you've been following us along on Thursdays or watching the replay. First of all, thank you and really appreciate the support. Second of all, you would know that we have been questioning the structure of Fusion as of late. It seems off. It seems like things have been rushed. That matches are really disjointed and out of place, especially for something that's been pre-taped. There's been a lot of questionable things happening as of late. So this week, all of a sudden, the announcement comes on Friday morning that they have struck a television deal with the streaming service Reels. Reels is going to be starting MLW Underground, which was the original MLW television program that existed at the infancy of the company. This is going to be Reels. I believe you can get through multitude of different places. You could also get it through Prime Video. I believe it costs $1.99 a month. So again, if you're an MLW fan or wanted to check out what they've got going down, the debut episode of MLW Underground on Reels is going to feature the championship match of Alexander Hammerstone taking on EJ the Judge and Duca that was scheduled to be on Fusion. No longer going to be there. What does it mean for Fusion, though? And again, that is still questionable. Fusion is going to still be running. It is still going to be available on Pro Wrestling TV. But it makes me question, is Fusion just going to be the dumping ground for the other matches? The matches where they're trying to get people over, kind of your B show, so to speak. Not saying that they won't be good and that there won't be people worth watching, but it feels like we're not going to get the large championship matches, the bigger names that MLW has been utilizing as of late. Would be my initial guess. I guess I'll have to see once this starts unfolding here in early February. And again, where does that put me for Thursday night programming? Well, Pop Smokes and I have been talking, and we might reduce the Fusion portion of our show down to being within Ring Respect Radio and try to run the double feature on a Thursday night once again, where we'll review both MLW programs, maybe a little bit of independent wrestling stuff outside of MLW, along with giving you guys a retro topic. So that's where it's going to leave us anyway in terms of our own programming.
I think this is great for MLW though.
Oh yeah.
Regardless if this might be like a dumbed down show for lowercase matches or stuff like that, or maybe it is a renovational tool for that company. Either way, what you're doing is you're getting more MLW action. You're getting more exposure. You're getting more MLW, which is, I think, exactly what, as a fan, Bobby, you want this product to have.
Yes.
You want these guys to be featured more and more and more.
Yeah.
So the single fact that that's what we're getting, we're in a day and age now where, we're getting so much content as it is. We're getting so much wrestling as it is. This is just good for a company like MLW that isn't necessarily the company that's pumping out all the content as much as others, but it's nice that they're now involved in this and they're putting out this, because I know I would love to check out this company a little bit more, but I don't necessarily know or can, depending on the time. So maybe this television deal now allows me to have that opportunity a little bit more. But I know this is a U.S. TV deal, but I mean, at the end of the day, now we're seeing MLW a little bit more often than what we're used to, and that can't be a bad thing for this company. Whether you want to see the likes of Hammerstone or, the Bombay Fight Club. Yeah, I know some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know the friends of your show, Alex Kane, might be a little bit happy with it. Yeah. But
Speaking of friends of my
I mean,
show here, look at this first time chatter on Thursday night right here. B Carter coming in. Hammerstone can take anyone else's championship. That's all you need to know. Damn straight. And thank you for joining us on a Sunday as well too. I had a great time. You were very active in the chat on Thursday night. Really, really appreciate you coming in supporting the work that we do here. Really good to see you. But yeah, as you were mentioning about how good it is for MLW. Yes, Underground is a very good thing. And Underground's going to be where they have the big players. This is going to become their A programming because it is the television deal. This is where they want to get the faces out. Again, they've got John Hennigan coming in to the company now too. So another name that they're going to be able to throw out there to try to really hype the television for MLW and hopefully get some more eyes on their product. Again, while there has been some missteps and some people that they've lost, you mentioned the Bomaye Fight Club. Again, they were just getting rolling with Myron Reed in there, and now the news drops that Myron Reed, now a free agent. So again, he was there for a good, I believe, 4.5 years, really lighting it up. The first ever wrestler in the history of MLW to become a multi-time champion within the company. So kudos to everything that Myron Reed did for them, and hopefully he lands somewhere really good because this kid is going places. It's a huge loss for MLW, but a big gain for wherever he ends up going.
Yeah, just want to also let everybody in the chat know, as you saw B Carter do, if you have anything to say about any of the topics or any ideas about any topics, let us know. Let's get that active chat going. We want to know what's on your mind as well. But no, I just think this is really good. And I'm loving the fact that, it's not just always WWE, it's not always AEW or Ring of Honor. Like, what we're doing is actually hearing noise made from other companies, which is good because I was hoping MLW was one of those companies where they would, do a little bit more after we saw Ring of Honor be purchased, or when they even, with the news hit with them back, all those months ago. So, if this can lead to more exposure for the wrestlers in MLW, if this could allow people like me to be introduced more to the product, awesome. Let's do it. I'm very happy. But you're talking about dominant players. Well, on AEW this week, Jade Cargill became 49-0 on her quest of becoming the most dominant female in all elite wrestling. Now, you can ask who's going to be the first person to beat her, but my question as well, is this streak starting to lose some luster? And is it actually doing more bad for Jade Cargill moving forward? Because it now seems like all she does is win, maybe making the matches more predictable. I look at Goldberg as kind of that comparable in terms of the streak, because I don't think I've seen anybody kind of make the streak as more famous as Goldberg. But Jade Cargill, what she's doing right now, and don't get me wrong, she is killing it in every step of the game. But I think I'm ready for this streak to be finished and actually see a little bit more in emotional investment feuds with her.
Yeah, but you could make the same argument that Asuka had a very similar popular streak. But yeah, B Carter is definitely a snack break now. That's a fair assessment. Again, here's the detriment that they have done. I mean, kudos for putting somebody over, for getting somebody over. But here, the detriment that's been done is you have her getting over with a secondary championship. This is supposed to be the workhorse secondary championship of the company, and you have made it dominant. You have made it be in the possession of somebody who doesn't really have anyone that can step to the plate that is a mid-carder to upper mid-carder where this title should be landing. You have made this champion look stronger than any of your women's top champions that you have right now or have had in recent memory. So the only way logically out of Jade even losing this title now, if you're looking at it from a booking sense to me, is to have her use that as her talking point to earn her heavyweight championship match or her women's world championship matchup, and then relinquishing her current championship in order to have that opportunity. That's the only way out of getting her out of that belt. And then for having her beat, now you've got to have somebody that people can get behind as the top of your company. You have to look to one of your former champions or current champion in order to make it seem like Jade can be beat only by people who stand in contention for your main event spot within the women's division in AEW.
So who do you think will become the first person to defeat Jade Cargill then?
Who should be, or who do I think
she's going to have to lose? Well, I mean, both. I mean, it's always fun to play the what if card, but it's like you always have to have that someone to beat you, right? Like we're wondering for the longest time, okay, who's going to be the person that beat Asuka? She was on a roll, and then we saw it was Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Same thing with Goldberg, ended up being Kevin Nash, right? Even though Goldberg got tased by the late Scott Hall. But eventually Jade Cargill is going to get that first loss. And it's going to be a big deal because they're making this streak a big deal. So again, like, who will be it? I mean, I'm looking at somebody maybe like a Britt Baker who could, go
logically
into a face role. Yeah. And she is kind of like that pillar in, she does need something of stat. Like she needs something again after losing the women's championship. But I don't know. Like it all depends. Like maybe if they were to get a Mercedes money in there, I could see that because you're looking at name value. And I think right now that's where Jade Cargill needs to be in a position to be wrestling a lot more of the high profile names in the company. Because I think that's, the right move. But still, I mean, at some point, you're going to, she has to lose at some point. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious. Who's it going to be?
Again, like you mentioned Britt Baker, logically, there's something that makes sense. Now, if you want to go from someone as an outsider point, like somebody that they could bring in, again, like, why anybody hasn't snagged up Deonna Purrazzo is mind-blowing, and if WWE got her, then good for them. Max the Impaler, bring in Max the Impaler. There's someone that could go toe-to-toe with someone like Jade Cargill and mop the floor with her. It's got to be something along those lines because, again, if you go by the way, I'm sure that AEW fans, like especially the hardcore ones, or like Tony Khan might be thinking, it's like, let's go point out one of the most ridiculous looking people we can find and have them get the surprise victory over Jade. And then that way we will push them. No, you won't. You'll get a temporarily a little bit of a rub to somebody who isn't necessarily going to draw you money. And then you're going to do a complete detriment to somebody that you have booked strongly over the past year plus. Got to think. So I don't have faith in AEW to do this right. But if you're going to do it logically, yeah, you've got to put her against somebody that has that kind of skill level. And again, who do they have? They've got Britt Baker.
Yeah, and it's weird too because it just seemed like they already have turned both Saraya and Toni Storm from the face to a heel capacity, which was a little bit surprising of a move, but that seems to be the direction they're going with those two, which I really do like the pairing of those two. But, at some point, again, like you need that. And maybe Jade Cargill will go to a babyface role. She does seem to get a lot more cheers now than she did at the beginning. So, like, maybe there's a character change for her. But at the end of the day, that there's somebody that's like primed to get that big dub from Jade Cargill. So I don't know. I'm very curious to see who that is. And I know B Carter, you're asking if there's just too many belts in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's just too many titles in wrestling. I think there's too many in WWE. I think there's too many in AEW. And I think also the addition of Ring of Honor and having Ring of Honor championships on your show also dilutes what being a champion really means on that show. because it seems like every other match can be a championship match.
And MLW is a victim of this exact same thing too, because I mean, while they have their heavyweight championship, they have the national openweight championship that they created, the middleweight championship, tag champs, featherweight championship. It doesn't seem like a lot, but then they introduced, other companies' titles, and they had the Caribbean Championship. They were bringing in the championships over from AAA and stuff like that as well too. Like, it gets to be a lot when you start bringing in even championships from other companies and start having them, to be able to be won and fought for within these different programs. It's a lot of belts, and it's a lot to try to keep up to.
Yeah, and this is where, like, I would like to see people fight for the opportunity to become champion a little bit more in wrestling. I think that just makes a lot more of a sense, I guess. Like, I like the fact that there are feuds that don't have a championship tied around them. I like the fact that there are emotional feuds where a title just sometimes that emotion is bigger. Like when you saw Shawn Michaels against Undertaker for the streak, sometimes like the streak was more important to those individuals than being a champion at that time. And it just felt good because now it felt like the streak was a title, but it wasn't a visible thing, So like, I would love to see AEW have more stuff like that. And that's why I do think the thing with Jade Cargill is interesting, because you have a streak. You want somebody to want to be the first person to beat her. That being champion might not be their main priority, but being that person that could get that rub and being, I'm the 1-49-1. Yeah, I'm stealing the Paul Heyman thing, but that's something to be proud of. That is something to like run with in wrestling, because being a champion for say 300 days is awesome, but in day 72, it doesn't mean as much as day 300, right? So like, you need that something else, and that's what I just want to see in wrestling a little bit more. I want more people to make the little things matter more.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always have to be about championships, and it'd be great if that was the case, but that's modern wrestling for you. Unfortunately, we are burdened with belt after belt after belt because everybody needs a title, as they say.
Yeah, it's the Oprah effect. You get a title, he gets a title, they get a title, we all get a title.
It's like getting participation medals. I mean, I was always the fat kid running track and field, and I still got something for it. I mean,
I always thought getting a participation ribbon was like such a kick in the dick. And what actually was worse was I don't know if you were ever that person to go and get your ribbon, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we ran out of ribbons," and you're just like, "Wow, I'm not even good enough to get a participation ribbon. Holy hell! Now do I feel low on the totem pole? This is great." As I'm like an 8-year-old kid in like elementary school, like thought I was proud because my like fat little ass like got to the finish line. But it's like, nope, cool. I get to go back to math class now and feel like a loser. Thanks, school, and your stupid participation ribbons.
Hey, the only thing I was ever good at in track and field was the high jump. Surprisingly, I could jump quite high for a chubby little kid. Couldn't run for shit, but I could jump fairly high.
I was a long jump guy. Like, I remember, like, I almost made history by making it the 3 years I could and nobody could. And then just they made too much of a deal, and I buckled under the pressure hard. Some guy just like, but then also we had a guy who was just like, I think he ended up winning the gold or whatever at the relay. Like he got first, but he was absolutely insane of an athlete. And I'm just like, I don't even mind losing to that guy. I'm like, I have more rolls on my my stomach than the Pillsbury Doughboy, so I'm not ashamed at all. Single fact that I was the fat kid in a relay at times, that was the impressive part. It was great. That was
nothing
really
like being
that
that
was like
guy.
a St. Albert Globetrotter.
Yeah. All all this talk of track and field is really tiring me out here.
Well, I think that just makes it right. If you need that energy and kick, make sure you go to rogueenergy.com and use that promo code OLEPODS to get your 10% so you can get back on that track and continue the race by going to Rogue Energy. Because what better way than right now to go rogue?
Look how we did that. The beautiful segue right there. You'd think we planned this, but there's no planning. None. It just
absolutely not. One might say the only thing you plan is doing nothing.
Yeah.
But what is something? And what something is this coming next week, we're seeing WWE gearing up to bring you the latest installment of their 2K franchise in WWE 2K23. Now, you may or may not be excited for this game. What matters is, have you ever played wrestling games before? And if so, what is your favorite? Do you have any awesome memories? But by chance, if you are interested in 2K23, what are you hoping they add to it? And before we get to that, we'll get to Beat Carter's comment saying 3/4 of AEW's roster would have been the old WCW Cruiserweight division. What's up with this trend? People died of steroid use in the 80s, so it wasn't worth it. And tell you, man, I'm 5'7". I wasn't going to balloon up to 300 pounds or else I'd look weird, very weird. And I don't want to look like Taz. So I look the way I look.
And then the 6'3" guys
I like to have a neck.
and then the 6'3" guys like myself and Pop Smokes just decide to hold a camera instead.
Hey man, if I had height, I probably would have played hockey longer, to be quite honest. But nobody wanted a 5'7" defenseman.
I had height, and I chose to be a soccer player instead of anything that involves height.
Ed coming in and saying WrestleMania the arcade game is a great game. I love that. In fact, I was actually talking about WrestleFest last night with my brother. And just like how much those games were, like if I could, I'd probably buy one of those arcade games and just have it in the house.
The WrestleFest one was the best thing. In terms of like arcade gaming, like that was one of the first arcade games I really got into as a wrestling fan. Just go in there and being able to pump in the quarters and pick whoever it is, Ultimate Warrior, Hogan, Demolition, whoever you had, and the fact that it was just that over exaggerated muscle texture and those moves that it's like guys are picking each other up over the head and just flinging them 3/4 of the way across the ring. That was fun video gaming right there.
Now I gotta ask, was WrestleMania the arcade game? Was that no one where you had all like the gimmicks? Like if you're Doink the Clown, you went to handshake, you can electrocute your opponent.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. Ed, you're going to have to chime in on that just to confirm that for sure. But yeah. And in-depth GM mode in 2K23. Yeah. Now, hold on. Like, first of all, Ed, saw your stream with the 2K22 GM mode. First of all, you should do more of that, man. Anybody who didn't check it out, Ed did a stream doing GM mode in 2K22. Awesome time. Ed is just awesome talking through it, talking about how to get through it and do the right thing. Excellent work, Ed. Do more streams of that nature. You're kicking ass, man. Yeah, with a more in-depth one. I don't really know the scale of what they've said about the in-depth mode, GM mode in 2K23. Parrish, have you heard, or Ed definitely chiming in? And yeah, but Ed also mentioning about the other game here. Sorry. I was just going to go to this one where it's Undertaker hit people with actual tombstones. Yeah, that was it. It was oversized mallets, tombstones, anything he could. But Matt Mania was the old school great. I'm not familiar with that game. Are you?
No, I didn't play a lot of the non-WWE games. Like I know, like you tried streaming that Extreme Wrestling Warfare.
Yeah.
And that was always, I thought, a fun game. Like especially, it was like just that non-traditional type wrestling game where like you didn't actually have the gameplay. You were just like creating companies and stuff like that. And I thought that was just always different. And it was fun because, you know, you could really custom a lot of things. Like you can bring in like your AJ Styles and be like, imagine if they were in WWE, and this was like well before 2016. But then I don't know. I also liked my the N64 games. I thought they were really when video games for wrestling kind of just kicked off. Not that they're not necessarily the best, but I mean, I think No Mercy still holds up as one of the best. I still think WrestleMania 2000 was pretty good. WCW NWO Revenge was pretty fun. The World Tour was cool, where you had like Aki Man.
See, I remember too when those, like, living in a smaller part of Saskatchewan and stuff like that, the local video store would only bring in one copy, and it was a fight. It was a battle to get that copy of it. So sometimes people, those jerks out there that like to bring things back late, you'd be sitting at the video store right at 7 o'clock. That's the time that they're supposed to have this game returned, and we'd be sat there waiting. Like, come on, man, it's 7:05. Where the hell are you? We want to rent this damn game already. And the second that the person would drop that off, you'd be right there. Okay, it's mine. Write me up. And we would do this every couple of weekends or so, get that together. You get 4 people. Finally, we could play 4 people on the same game, get those battle royals going. TKO mode only. So it would only be TKOs within a battle royal with WCW NWO Revenge. Lots of fun.
Were you the guy that actually voluntarily just held the game longer, paid a late charge just so you could play it more?
No, I was always I'm that punctual person.
I totally did that from
everything. So yeah, you were that guy. Of course.
Not gonna lie, I did that a couple times. I mean, come on. Hey, sometimes I need an extra day to finish my stories. Right? Like when you got some modes going, then you gotta make sure you go through the whole thing with your favorite wrestlers, right? You just have to.
And speaking of stories, isn't SmackDown Here Comes the Pain the one that really dived into the whole idea of like choose your own story, like choose your own adventure almost with the WWE games? That was the one where backstage you make choices, you make alliances kind of thing. And that's how it kind of evolved how you were as a made-up character within the realm of the WWE.
Yeah, I think it was definitely one of those PlayStation games where you start seeing the evolution of like kind of where they were. Like I always remember like the Shut Your Mouth or Here Comes the Pain. Like those are always big games. Like as Ed mentioned, like remember those really like kicked it off into like that new swing. Like I think No Mercy was really the game that kind of was your the game that everyone loved. That was kind of like the one that kickstarted everything back up. Hello, Mel. Obviously, that term is very loosely phrased here on Busting. But yeah, no, I mean, and I think that the PlayStation really then took it to that next level. And then obviously when we started seeing the 2K franchise and EA Sports kind of get a hold of the video game, then all of a sudden we just got a different level. Whether or not you like it or not, it's completely opinionated. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the games are bad. I just think they're the same, and I think that's kind of what the problem is with a lot of video games. And I would love to see just the ability to, like, just because like a guy like say Neville, I'll say Neville. I don't know why he's my example, but he is. But just because he's not in the company doesn't mean his music should be taken out. I don't believe if I wanted to create the Union or like the Ministry of Darkness, like their music should be in there. Like you should be able to have like a library or something like that. Like even download your own music. If you want to make your own guy, you should be able to, pick your own theme song, and then it'd be great. And I know how much that would suck for streaming because your copyright nails would be like more, but at the same time, it'd be fun. It'd be fun, like if I actually wanted to make myself and maybe put Riddick Moss in so I can actually use the parachute. But I also can use, For Whom the Bell Tolls as my entrance scene.
Yeah, and I mean, you could do that with some of the earlier editions. Like I know using the original Xbox, I always could put in downloaded music from CDs that I owned. Now I go to do it, I'm like, I can't download squat. Like, I can't put my own music into any of this stuff. Not even just for the purpose of listening. I like, maybe somebody is better equipped with technology than I am, and as an Xbox user, tell me, how can I put personal music onto the Xbox and play it while I'm playing a game, so at least I can listen to it? Still haven't figured that much out.
Yeah, no, like it'd be nice if like WWE like hooked up with Spotify or something. So like this could be a deal, or even like, I don't know, like YouTube, and I don't know. Like I'm sure there's something that they could do. You know, they always say never say never. Well, I'm saying WWE, there should never be a reason why you can't get this stuff done.
See, you know what they should do in 2K23 is that when you're playing in some sort of one of the modes or something like that, you know, the good old days when you had to unlock characters, they should have a couple of surprise returns within 2K23, no non-announced characters that come out at some point during the story that you're playing. And once you actually go through the matchup with them, you unlock those characters as playable characters instead of paying all that damn money over and over again to add new people to your game. Man, I hate that about video games nowadays. Why should I pay more? You're already charging me $80. Give me the full fucking game. Sorry.
Well, you can. It just costs you a headlock and a leg takedown. See, arm bar leg lock. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I know in some of the 2K ones you can do matches, and sometimes better matches you can get what they, you know, your coins or whatever they call you, and you can use those to unlock guys. But I mean, if you just buy the game in full, you can almost download everything right off the bat, which kind of makes it not fun because, you know, you're not, you know, taking the time to, you know, to earn them or whatever, right? Like you just grab everything from day one, which I mean, I get it, but I mean, it's also not really cool that like WWE will put like, I think they did it last year or that for the last game where they did an NWO version where, you know, you can have selected NWO people as downloadable characters if you got that game. But if I got a different version of the game, I couldn't get the NWO guys. So I'm like, that rude? I'm like, I don't know. Like at some point, like, I think the downloadable like content should always be a thing. Like, why can't they just come out with one game and then just keep the downloadable content there? Whether it's entrance like stages or stuff like that.
And Mel saying, I dated someone years who painstakingly create realistic
totally
wrestling spread for all of our friends. Good times. I mean, it does eat up a lot of time. I tried to make a character and I'm just like, you know what? To hell with this. I'm going to use what's in the game or I'll download somebody else's because that is way too much time. Honestly, at my age, it's like by the time I load up these games and get into them, I swear like 20 minutes in and I'm like, okay, it's time for bed already. Old man syndrome kicks in when I'm video gaming.
You can make a wrestler now and you can be like done the physical appearance in like no time. And then when the moves come, you're just like, holy cow, man. Yeah. Like, what is your taunt when you want to go get a weapon? Like, it's like, I don't care. Yeah. I really don't care.
And then I look at them and I'm like, I wouldn't.
And then some of the taunts are just so silly. Like, you know,
yeah.
Like they're just dumb. It's like, yeah, I want to play like an air guitar when I'm about to go get a steel chair in a Hell in a Cell match.
Okay, I want to see somebody do that legitimately.
I want to get a freaking folding chair.
I want that to happen for real now. Definitely.
It's like no different than when I play like the hockey games and all of a sudden, like, what do you want your goal celebration to be? And you have a guy like doing the freaking Batista like bat swing, and you're like, nobody will ever do that in hockey. Nobody will just chuck their stick in there. Can we just get that out? Like, that's why, like, I still love the like NHL '94 where you get a goal and the guy's just like, yeah, with a stick like that, and he looks like a big booger, but you know it's funny because I was like, I still want to see you guys do that. Like, I'm like, I want to see like some wrestlers nowadays just do the most generic taunts ever. And in fact, here's one. I want the WWE game to add like this or like that because 99% of people think that's crowd work nowadays, and it drives me insane.
Isn't that exactly what you and Carl were talking about on Monday night during the Monday night watch along?
It drives me crazy, man. It's like, oh, like what, come on. That's supposed to get the people out of their feet. Like, I just paid $80 and I don't want to spill my beer. I'm all of a sudden just going to be like, yeah, all right now. He did this. I got to be up here now. Oh, my God. This guy's incredible. OMG moment. Yeah. I mean, come on.
It starts to make it look like they're wafting all the time. Like, oh, yeah, I'm in a wrestling match.
It's like, I'm moving my hand up. Yeah, guys, look at my amazing crowd work. Cool. Put that in the video game. Just do that one. I fucking hate it. I hate it. Just hate it. At least Hulk Hogan did one of these. All right. At least John Cena's doing this. At least Stone Cold flipped you the middle finger. The Rock at least did this.
No,
do something.
They're going like this.
Just do something. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's hope not.
With their sticks in their hands.
You went off the rails, but that bus is not coming back, man. That train is not making a U-turn for you.
Good job, Bob. Good job.
We're giving you some alone time if you're doing that. That might be some non-traditional type taunts.
Hey, I bet they're in there somewhere. Just gotta look deep.
No.
Now that we're completely off the rails, where do you want to go with this thing?
Well, I'm just going to say this. We talked about some Rogue Energy, but do you know what they actually give you in terms of flavors? It's a lot more than you think. So check out this video, and you can see what Rogue Energy has in store for you, just so you have all that energy. Download and make your
Rogue Energy.
What are you, a dog?
Yeah.
Right, you board.
Oh, you can roll it off the tongue. It'd be like Rogue Energy. Rogue.
Yeah, I can do that. Can do that. You can do that. I can't. But
well,
yeah,
at least one of us can.
There's some things we all can do, and there's a lot of things we can't do. But with that being said,
doesn't pay the bills. Yeah.
We're talking about it. We've been throwing out non-traditional. Triple H recently said in an interview that WWE could be planning for some non-traditional surprises for this coming Royal Rumble, which leads to a speculation. What in the actual Greenwich, Connecticut fuck is a non-traditional surprise?
I like it.
I
don't know now.
You can't be any more vague with that wording, can you?
No.
However,
what do you?
I think I know the answer because I've watched this company too damn long to know what that is. I don't know if necessarily a traditional surprise would be somebody who's within the company, right? So it might be somebody coming back from an injury, or somebody that has always been employed. Maybe say it's like a legend contract or something like that. I think what we're going to see as a non-traditional would be more like, say, when AJ Styles came out, and it was somebody that wasn't previously tied to the company or employed by the company, say making a debut. I don't want to throw out any examples, but Nick Aldis could be an example. 100% throw out examples. Come on, people.
Hey, what about, hold on here.
But maybe a non-traditional could be like a Jay White or somebody not currently employed, but there could be a working relationship with other companies. Because we saw Shinsuke Nakamura have a match with the Great Muta. We've seen Carl Anderson go to New Japan and defend that championship. And if he was healthy, AJ Styles would have been on that show in Wrestle Kingdom as well. So I'm thinking that's what we are, what was meant by non-traditional.
Or what if you went something like this? What if Dominic Mysterio has a spot in the Royal Rumble and he coughs it up to Rhea Ripley to fight on his behalf? Non-traditional.
I am at the strong belief that if you have a men and a women's Royal Rumble, you do not need to do this anymore. Because if Rhea Ripley's in the women's Royal Rumble match itself,
yeah, I mean, if she's in the women's,
well, Great Muta no longer. I believe Great Muta retired yesterday.
Yes, or this morning.
Yeah, depending on what. Yes. I mean, whatever.
Technically later today, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's in the future.
But like Matt Cardona, sure. Nick Aldis, sure. The strong possibilities. Kyrie, we'll see.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, Will Ospreay, really? Please no. But I just think, dude, does anyone care to see Will Ospreay in WWE? Like, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna have the same kind of matches he does in like a New Japan or anything like that. Like, he's not going to be a shaker, a stirrer, or someone who's going to get to the top. Even with Triple H's booking style, I don't see Will Ospreay being a top contender within the WWE frame. Personally, I just don't think it's the right landing for him.
I will say this: knowing what I saw from Ricochet, King Ricochet, or the Great Puma outside of WWE, I would not have pegged him to be the performer he is now.
No.
So I'm thinking there could be an opportunity, but
I'm shocked by this one. But that's
I do think there could be he might change his style with the WWE fold, but I care more to see Ospreay than I do Jay White or Okada. Yeah,
I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum personally, but
to teach your own, right, on that one, and like as long like non-traditional, it's going to be a one-off anyway, right? So like you're going to get that shock and awe if it is something like this. But I don't know. I personally think Jay White fits the North American style a lot more than the Japanese one. And I think later in his career might be more beneficial for him, but who's to say? I mean, partially, I kind of want to see Jay White take over, the OC. I think that would be cool. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, because I could go and say the same thing about Ospreay from a lot of other people. Like, I would not want to watch Kenny Omega in WWE or the Young Bucks in WWE. But at the same time, I do think that they would be beneficial and successful if they were in the WWE. So, can't really argue. But I think Matt Cardona would make a lot of sense, especially if he was Matt Cardona. I know recently he just filed for the trademark Zack Ryder because I think it's every 5 years the trademark expires. So WWE did not pick up the license of Zack Ryder. So Zack, our artist formerly known. I want to say it was early January, that earlier this month.
Yeah, it was just recently. But wouldn't it be great to find out that he had
Hmm.
done that just so that he could block them from using it upon his return? Like, you guys are not going to saddle me with the Zack Ryder gimmick because I bought the rights to it and up yours. Because, quite
I
frankly,
actually
I had
believe that he did
zero
that so
interest.
he could start selling Zack Ryder action figures
Well, maybe that
and
too.
start using
But
that name. Like I
do
actually
you,
like Matt Cardona is a smart person. He is not,
yeah.
that stereotypical Long Island moron that, was portrayed in Impact with Robbie E. Um, even though that was a but we know what you mean. Like he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. He's very specific, very smart and calculated when it comes to business. Um, I think he's going to go to wherever gives him the best opportunity to perform. I think WWE makes a lot of sense, especially if he can do something with his wife Chelsea Green, who I do believe will be in the Royal Rumble. I have no thing to confirm that. I just strongly believe it. But if he did this to help and he was Zack Ryder, right? Like that's him. So the fact that he now has the ability to sell his own image, his own things, like the Zack Ryder true Long Island story, like he now owns the rights to sell that because he owns the name. So just a smart business decision.
Oh, it's definitely smart on his behalf of doing it and everything too. But he might be smart in owning it so that they can't use it at the same time because forcing him to come in as the Matt Cardona we've grown to know over the last little bit during his independent run, which I think is a much more focused, much more interesting professional wrestler. I'm more invested in seeing Matt Cardona than I ever was in Zack Ryder because honestly, Zack Ryder, it was that goofy character. I know a lot of fans clicked with it, and that's great, but it's just not my cup of tea. So I was never interested until just recently.
Yeah,
I'd say Chelsea got rid of their
coming in
OnlyFans.
saying
That's
Chelsea
great.
Green got rid of her OnlyFans. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like I think we got to read between the lines at some point, but at the same time, like I think when we talk about the Royal Rumble, it's very easy to get sidetracked because that's what makes the Royal Rumble match so fun. It's when that clock goes from 10, 9, all the way to 0, and you have that moment of oh my God, who could it be? And you hear that music. Whether it's AJ Styles for a bit where you didn't know who it was until it said phenomenal on the clock, or it is that familiar song that you haven't heard in a while. That's what makes those moments absolutely amazing. So if it's not traditional, I'm all for it because oh my God, am I excited to see just something different. And this is the one show of the year you can get something different.
Yeah, it really is, and hopefully the surprises will be worth the wait. Hopefully, we're not going to get any really joking surprises, like we're suddenly going to hear like No Chance in Hell playing, and Vince McMahon's going to come down for one last Rumble spot. But I mean, it would be good to get a surprise. Like they've thrown around the big names surrounding the Royal Rumble. Could we see a John Cena, a Rock, a Stone Cold? Names like that. Wouldn't it be very interesting if they started the Rumble off with a large name, like somebody large enough that would get social media buzzing, a John Cena or something like that? Can you believe it? John Cena has entered the Royal Rumble in the number one spot. The whole damn world would be igniting with hashtags and all sorts of conversation. It would be massive news. It's exactly what they're going to want to get because the more hype that they get, the more people are going to be tuning in. Okay, what's going down? They've got John Cena already. What's next? What's next?
Yeah. Like, could you imagine if Austin Theory gets number 1 and then number 2 is John Cena and you have that
Yeah,
stand up? Or
I'd
what
be
happens
down.
if we had Bobby Lashley draw number 1 and Brock Lesnar comes in number 2? Or maybe we see Drew McIntyre come in and then all of a sudden we could see, say, said heavyweight champion boxer, come in.
Oh no, you want to see
I think we
Tyson
know who we're
Fury
talking
get into
about.
this thing? Oh man, I don't
I don't
know.
want to see Tyson Fury in there, but I know that was something Drew McIntyre always wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, who's to say that maybe we can get Sheamus and maybe Drew McIntyre. And then number 3 comes in, and all of a sudden Wade Barrett pops back in for a one-off. I know these 3 men are really close, really good friends. So, like, how cool would it be if they got to share that moment? Like, something surprise like that. And yes, Wade Barrett is the only announcer I would like to see in the Rumble match. Yeah. The only one. If one at all, it would only be him.
What about, like, I mean, you're tossing around the idea of like a Tyson Fury entering the matchup, but like, I mean, again, how many times they've wanted to work with somebody like Bad Bunny, and that could be another entrant that could surprise people, not expecting him to be out there. He'll come again. They'll make it a yearly thing to the point where it's no longer a surprise.
And like, before we really get off still with celebrities, no, I do not want to see any Pauls in the ring. I don't want to see Logan. I don't want to see his brother. I really don't. I want this to stay wrestler like oriented. Like, for the women's side, like I would like to see like Kyrie, Deonna Purrazzo, a one-off. Don't get me wrong. If Deonna Purrazzo was to re-sign with WWE and she's used in a very, very big role, then sweet, I'm all for it. However, I don't think that's right now. I would love it, but I just don't know. I think Naomi is a lock. Like, I really think that this is the perfect time. I would actually be shocked if she doesn't return tomorrow. Like, when you think about, we have Usos going up against the Judgment Day for the Raw titles, who's to say that Naomi is not the Bloodline's solution to Rhea Ripley, and we can have that narrative going into the Rumble?
Yeah, very strong possibility. I don't see why that can't be possible. I definitely think Naomi's coming back, though. Like, I mean, whether it be tomorrow on Raw or next weekend. And I mean, I'm assuming at the same time, I'd imagine Carl's going to be doing another Raw watch along. So again, if you want to catch the Raw go home show tomorrow night, be double checking.
Raw 30, by the way.
Raw 30
is War Triple X.
So again, is there a chance that we might see you hopping on with Carl tomorrow night too, if the watch along's happening?
I mean, like a good disease, I should show up from time to time. So yeah, count on that.
I'd say the trial of Sami Zayn is going to be great tomorrow night. Hopefully it's not just going to be another one. Like, we've seen these overstuffed Raws celebrating how many episodes or how many year shows before, and they can be disastrous. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case with Raw goes Triple X.
I mean, I think you're getting a lot of nostalgia, but I do believe that everyone there they know that's the last Raw before the Rumble.
Yeah.
Which is actually hilarious, because this Raw was actually supposed to be in Edmonton. Or no, I think it was last year's. But we were supposed to get the last Raw before the Rumble. And then it got moved. I think maybe it was last year. And maybe I'm all trodden, but maybe I'm wrong. Actually, I'm pretty
sure it was
sure
last year
now, when I think about it. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, anybody know where Raw is tomorrow?
I can look that up.
Raw is tomorrow? As you're doing that, I'm just going to remind everyone that down below it's a ticker to talk about everything OLE related, whether it's our socials. So make sure you're checking out us on Twitch if you're checking out on YouTube today. You can also check up on us on YouTube if you're watching on Twitch today. But also make sure that you're using that email olepodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or concerns or even inquiries about our local establishment. Make sure you're going there. And if you can, give us that follow on our Instagrams at OLE Podcasts. That would be just a little bit of all right. And we would be very much appreciative of that, because as we're very much willing to support you. And we hope you can support us, because that is how we can grow together.
So,
Bobby, did you
Raw
have
30
an answer for Raw?
I sure did. Raw 30 is going to be live in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center tomorrow night. So, City of Brotherly
That's a
Love
good place.
The City of Brotherly Love is going to be ignited by a little bit of Raw Triple X.
Brotherly Love goes Triple X rated. Terrific.
That's right.
That tagline. I mean, Awesome. That is just fantastic.
I'm on the ball today.
now kinda
Apparently
reached that
so.
hour.
Apparently so is Philly.
That's not something to gag about. But what is something to gag about is the amazing content we have coming up this week in our local establishment. So check out this video telling you what you can expect this week.
Yeah, it's another busy week here at OLE Podcast, our local establishment. Make sure to give us a subscribe on YouTube. Really push for those YouTube clicks as well as thank you to everyone who continues to follow us here on Twitch as well too. Give us a follow, subscribes on Twitch. Every little bit helps out. It just takes a quick second to go and do that for us, and it helps out not only ourselves here on Busting Out, but every single one of the great creators that we have here at our local establishment. We're giving you a variety of different shows throughout the week, not everything wrestling related. If you're looking for something that's to do with anything pop culture, anything from around the world, you're going to find it here at our local establishment.
Yeah, and just to maybe give a little clarification if you read that and you're wondering, hey, there's a paper review and a paper preview. That's right. The paper preview is obviously a show dedicated to preview and like beforehand. It's like a pre to post, right? Review is obviously a show where we're going to talk about the show that just happened. A preview show is talking about a show that's about to happen. And if I'm not mistaken, our own Ed Fries and I will be conducting a good old preview of this upcoming Royal Rumble match. And I don't know, from what I understand, it'll be you, Mel, and possibly Ed for the paper review right after the Royal Rumble.
No, that would be Astrid. It's going to be on that with us, with Ed and I.
Who did I say again?
You said Mel.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Mel. Watch some WWE, and I'll do some good for you. Make me an honest man, please.
But that's right. Yeah, we will have previews. We will have reviews. We will have everything that you want throughout the week. We got a lot of great content, a lot of great creators. So again, as I said before, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, do all those wonderful things. Check us out on all social media because we got a lot of cool shit going on over here at OLE. We do.
Correction, Mel. I will be on location on that day.
Coming at you live from San Antonio, Texas.
Live via satellite, which I swear I got to make a graphic for that.
Oh, you so do. You really do.
Yeah, no, it will be a thing where, this scenery you see back here, this amazing scenery, not this, really, really thrown together basement that I'm in, might be a nice cleaned up hotel room. So
there's a slight chance we might have a guest next week too. Like we'll see who you bump into while you're around there. Maybe someone will join us. Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah, maybe. I have no idea. We have no idea. It all depends on if that hotel is kicking me out or not, because apparently I may or may not be able to get a late checkout.
Yeah, you got to blur your background like I do. Apparently. I don't want everyone to see all this cool shit behind me. It's a lot of neat.
He has all the toys that you can see. Yeah, he has all those toys that are going to be featured at Roth XXX tomorrow night. So
that's right.
Sure nobody sees them. But yeah, no. Before we kind of go out, do you know if there's anybody you'd like to raid?
We're totally gonna raid 40-year-old bot today. I think we need to get
Very
in there with
well.
a raid on 40. Part of
Yeah.
I'll explain one thing too, you guys. Anybody who has not checked out 40's channel as well too. This guy, he's a gamer. He's on there. He's very supportive of all things. Very, very supportive of our local establishment and each one of our contributors that's gone over to support him. He allows you to go in there and network with other people, follow for follow. So if you're looking to build your Twitch channel, really get your views up, really get your numbers up, then head on over there, and we're going to help you by sending you on over there and make sure that you give a good OLE welcome when you head on over and check out 40-year-old bot over on Twitch. Really great dude, very supportive of our channel.
Yeah, but before we do that, Bobby, where can we find you? Just Bobby Money Munson. Where can we find you on the socials?
Well, like I said, I got some cool stuff going on. But my cool stuff is only as good as the people that I surround myself with, and that's why I got great partnerships all over the place, including this Wednesday when you see the next edition of Beats of Beatdowns with myself and Carl Carafel. Thursday nights, we're going to call it Fusion for now because we're not quite sure what's going on, but you can catch myself and Papa Smokes as we try to figure out the next step in our evolution of Thursday night party time on our show at 9:05 Eastern time. And then, of course, I will be on Paper Reviews on Saturday night with Ed and Astrid. And I'm also going to be on Busting Out with, via satellite, Chris Parrish for next week's Busting Out. So it's going to be a good week here.
It sure is. And obviously, on my end, you can follow me on the Chris Parrish under the Twitter, the Instagram, Chris.Parrish, the Twitch at the Chris Parrish, the YouTube at Chris Parrish. And in terms of shows, yes, I will be probably popping on tomorrow for the Raw Watch Along with Carl Carafel and most likely Chris Best as well. And then I will be, with you next Sunday for Busting Out 22 live from San Antonio at TX. Because, it's cool to say the abbreviation. But yeah, then you can also check out Paper Previews, myself and Ed, as we look ahead and look forward to the 2023 Royal Rumble. So with that being said, I got another one. We just want to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time to join us today. And please show a 40-year-old but all the love and support the old way. And say hi. And have a great rest of your Sunday. Go Bengals. All right. And then for everyone who's watching us on the YouTube, we just want to say thank you. And we will be closing off this channel just normally like we normally do. So again, if you're on the YouTube, we just want to say thank you for joining us today and hope you also have a great rest of your Sunday. So take care, and you have been officially blessed.